see blood on your hands.
Yeah.
Anywhere else?
Just my chest, 4 inches in with a bread knife.
Can we have a look?
Yeah, and one on the stomach. I bled quite...
Right, do you want
to...
This is the exact moment the small peaceful town of Kilamarsh, England, witnessed its first recorded murder. But this wasn't just any murder. It was a massacre. Brutal, senseless, and so grotesque in nature that it would lead to one of the harshest punishments ever handed down under British law. Welcome to the crime documentary. Meet Damian Bendall, a violent, deeply disturbed man with a rap sheet spanning more than a decade. By the time this bodycam footage was recorded, Bendall wasn't just a familiar name to local law enforcement. He was a walking red flag, a powder keg waiting to explode. But no one, not the police, not social services, not even those closest to him, could have imagined the horrors he was about to unleash. And yet, within hours, 4 innocent lives would be snuffed out in a single night. A mother, her 2 children, and a visiting friend. What happened inside that quiet house on Chandos Crescent was not just a crime. It was carnage, and it was preventable. This is a story of unimaginable cruelty, tragic oversight, and a justice system that failed, again. In today's video, we're going to pull back the curtain on the monstrous life of Damian Bendall, the man behind one of the UK's most disturbing mass murders. We'll explore how warning sign after warning sign was ignored, how red flags were brushed aside, and how an innocent family paid the ultimate price. Because once you hear the full story, you'll never forget it. They were the most well-mannered kids you'd ever meet. Always please and thank you. Just good kids, you know? To truly understand how this tragedy unfolded, we need to rewind the clock, back to a time when the town of Kilamarsh was still whole, still safe. Kilamarsh, a small, close-knit community in Derbyshire, England. The kind of place where people still leave their doors unlocked, where children play freely in the street. A town where violent crime is nearly unheard of. But on a quiet Sunday morning in September 2021, everything changed. It was 7:26 a.m. Emergency dispatchers received a chilling phone call. On the line was a man named Damian Bendall. His voice wasn't panicked, it wasn't hurried, it was calm, controlled, almost casual. Basically, I need the police and ambulance now, because I've killed 4 people. 14 minutes later, officers arrived at the address, 26 Chandos Crescent. Standing in the driveway was Bendall himself. Trench coat, dazed expression, blood staining his hands and chest. And yet, even then, he didn't run. He didn't fight. He didn't even seem troubled.
Right, do you want to... Yes. No, just stay there.
I just don't want to be in front of them.
Right, just around the corner. Right, stand here. Stay here.
Even as police stood before him, blood on his body, confession on his lips, he was disturbingly calm, as if this were all routine. What the officers didn't yet know was that inside that house lay a scene so horrifying, it would haunt them forever. Inside, they would find the bodies of 4 people. 35-year-old Terry Harris, Damian's partner, lifeless in the living room. Her 13-year-old son, John Paul Bennett, dead in the bathroom. And in one of the bedrooms, 2 young girls, 11-year-old Lacey Bennett and her best friend, Connie Gent, both murdered, both robbed of everything, all of it, in one night. Damian, at 07:47 hours, you are under arrest for suspicion of murder. You do not have to say anything. What police uncovered inside 26 Chandos Crescent would shatter the illusion of safety that Kilamarsh had always carried. It wasn't just a murder scene. It was a house of horrors. Blood was everywhere, smeared across the walls, soaked into carpets, splattered on surfaces. It told a story no one wanted to imagine. In the living room, Terry Harris, 35, found bludgeoned to death, her unborn child gone. Upstairs, in the bathroom, her 13-year-old son, John Paul Bennett, lifeless. And just feet away in a bedroom, 2 more children, 11-year-old Lacey Bennett and her best friend Connie Gent, brutally murdered during what should have been an innocent sleepover. Terry was a care worker, kind, compassionate, always putting others first. She was a devoted mother, known for going above and beyond for her kids. School pickups, packed lunches, bedtime stories, she never missed a moment. Her children, Lacey and John Paul, were stars in their own right. Lacey was spirited, full of life. She danced, she made TikToks, she had big dreams. John Paul was quieter, gentle, deeply loyal to his family. Their father, Jason Bennett, remained close even after separating from Terry. He spoke to his kids every single day. So how did Damian Bendall, a man with a violent past, end up living under the same roof as these innocent children? The answer is disturbing. Because there were warning signs. So many. And they were ignored. Bendall had a criminal record a mile long. Assault, armed robbery, GBH. He had served prison time. He was known for violent outbursts, drug abuse, and terrifying behavior. He bragged about killing a dog with a brick, torturing animals, told people he had multiple personalities and could snap without warning. And yet, despite all of this, he was allowed to move into Terry's home. The truth is, the system failed them. Not once, not twice, but 51 separate times. That's how many probation oversights were recorded after this tragedy. One report said Bendall threatened to kill his partner and her kids. That should have triggered an emergency response. It didn't. His risk was labeled medium, not high. He was bailed to a home with children, despite prior charges, despite his behavior in prison, despite threats. No checks, no safety reviews, no alerts to Terry, and it cost 4 innocent lives. September 18th, 2021. It began like any other Saturday. The kids were baking, playing. Lacey and Connie were excited about their bake sale. A final photo taken that afternoon shows them smiling, proud of the cupcakes they'd made. No one knew it would be the last photo ever taken of them alive. That night, Damian Bendall spiraled. He consumed massive amounts of alcohol, cocaine, weed. When he couldn't reach his dealer, something inside him snapped. The rage took over. In just 18 minutes, 4 lives were taken with a claw hammer. Terry in the living room, John Paul in the bathroom, Connie murdered in her sleep, and finally, Lacey, who was not only killed but abused in one of the most monstrous acts imaginable. At 6 a.m., Bendall walked out of the house, took John Paul's Xbox, tried to sell it for more drugs. He told the cab driver his night had been a bit mad. Then he returned home, tried and failed to take his own life, and called 999. The whole house is covered in claret. I used a hammer. Obviously, I'm going to prison, 'cause I murdered 4 people. He said it like it was nothing. Police arrived, arrested him, and within days, the UK would know the name Damian Bendall, not as a person, but as a monster. On December 21st, 2022, after 15 months of investigations, Damian Bendall was sentenced to a whole life term. He will never be released, not on parole, not under any circumstances. It's one of the harshest sentences the UK can hand down. But justice, as it turns out, was only part of the story. Because no sentence, no matter how severe, can undo what happened inside that house. The story of Damian Bendall isn't just a crime documentary, it's a mirror. a reflection of what happens when the systems meant to protect collapse, when background checks are skipped, when warnings are ignored, when monsters slip through the cracks. This case will stay with you. It should, because if the lessons aren't learned, then who's next? In memory of Terry Harris, John Paul Bennett, Lacey Bennett, and Connie Gent, gone too soon, never forgotten. Like and subscribe for more real crime stories, turn on notifications, because the next case might be even darker.